Tabia was born in Memphis, Tennessee, the youngest of 5 siblings. This, along with her parents' divorce during her early adolescent years, often left her feeling unseen and unheard, as if she lived in the shadows. And then a tragedy struck her young life that would push her even further into darkness for years to come. Tabia was gang raped by 6 men at the age of 14.
My sister, she was living in Greensboro, just graduated from Greensboro College. She told my mom, she said, "Tabia should move with me." So she took me in and lived with a 25-year-old. And now it's like, wow, she took me in at that age for a whole year. I was in 9th grade, starting all over again in a new state, new grade level, and she did it. I dealt with being assaulted with my sister, living with her. She took me to therapy, and that was helpful, very much so helpful. But then I stopped when I moved back to Memphis. And I don't know if that was because my mom wanted me back, and in a way that didn't remind her of my past that had happened, that she couldn't prevent. It just happened. So I think maybe it's a bit of avoidance. That's why I never continued therapy.
Although it would be years before Tabia would find her way back to therapy, she learned to cope by focusing on dance and chorus. In the fall of 2004, she left Memphis to attend college at UNCG. During that time, she had her daughter Nundi, who was born with many complications, including Turner syndrome. Overwhelmed by the needs of her infant daughter, she moved back home for the support of her family. Yet, in doing so, she also moved back to the place of her initial trauma.
My daughter has special needs. She has several disabilities. She was born with a mass that was in her mouth and neck. Therefore, they had to intubate her and put a tracheostomy tube in her neck and a feeding tube for her to eat. So I raised her for 6 years in Memphis with my family. And that was a hard process of having to go back to the place where all the assault happened. And it was totally difficult. Even though I was an adult, but flashbacks of living back in the same city, wondering if I would ever run into the men who had hurt me was on my mind. We went through a lot, surgeries after surgery. And then when she got well enough, I said, "You know what, Tabia, it's time to move back to Greensboro. It's time to finish what I started."
Returning to Greensboro, Tabia knew it was time to face the darkness that had been overshadowing her life once and for all. She heard about RPC through a friend. When Tabia began counseling, she needed weekly sessions, sometimes twice a week, to deal with the multiple traumas she had experienced in her life, which also meant she would need very affordable services.
When I first started coming to Restoration Place, I saw my therapist at least once a week. And then things were really rough, twice a week. And it was no judgment. Having my own child with disabilities, I'm not always able to work full time. So having Restoration Place be on a scale that's worked with my income has been a great blessing to me. It's not a place of hardship. It's been quite a journey to learn how to cope. And with rising out of the darkness, I've been more assertive. I'm not as comfortable being in the back. I am now standing up taller and being proud of myself for speaking up for myself and not being ashamed for saying no. I didn't know that I even had a voice to say no. And by coming here, definitely changed that perspective.
Today, Tabia has risen out of the shadows and has become an accomplished dance performer and teacher of many styles. When she is not dancing, she is raising awareness and advocating for people with disabilities, such as her amazing, beautiful daughter. This work has led to the founding of the Black Parents of Children with Disabilities group in North Carolina. Through her healing journey, Tabia has realized her life purpose of using her story and experience to assist, support, impact, and inspire others.